Hello children, welcome to today's class. Children, today we are going to see the continuation of our second lesson in social, the revolt of 1857. Already we have seen in our part 1 a few concepts like Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, Doctrine of Lapse. Today we are going to see the remaining content of the lesson. The following contents are the revolt of 1857, First War of Independence, leaders of the revolt, failure of the revolt, and outcome of the revolt. Let's have a short recap of the previous sector. We have seen how British people started to enter India, how some of the kings have started to war against the British. We have seen those wars like Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar. What is the superior power of the British? How they started to capture the states in our country by using many policies. We have also seen some policies like divide and rule policy and doctrine of lapse. We have already came to know the meaning of doctrine of lapse and divide and rule policy, and then we have seen about the advantages and disadvantages of the British rule in India. So by continuation of those things, today we are going to learn the revolt of 1857. What is the revolt of 1857? Children, this revolt can be marked as a great milestone in the history of India, and it can be marked as a huge war which Indian people had led against the British people. In this revolt, this had a starting point. The Indian soldiers were paid much as compared to the British soldiers. That means whenever the Indian people has been taken into account for any job title by the English people, only a few amount of salary has been given to the Indian people, while it is compared to the British people. So whatever the job which is being lended by the British people, only the British people will earn more money, whereas the Indian soldiers or the Indian people will get only a less amount. This was the first opposing thing which the Indian people started to have. And the second is, in the year of 1857, the British government introduced a new gun. The gun name is Enfield rifles. Again I repeat, in 1857, the British introduced a new gun called the Enfield rifles. What is special about these Enfield rifles in the sense, these Enfield rifles will be having a cartridge in that. Cartridges in the sense, have you seen a gun in movie or something? Yes. How we will be shooting, if there is any bullet loaded in the gun, it can be able to fire, isn't it? Yes. This cartridges is also a cylindrical kind of bullet which can be placed inside the Enfield rifles. And the special thing about these Enfield rifles are, the entire bullet is being coated with the content, that is, it is being coated by the grease of animal fat, especially with the pig and the cow. We already know that we will be worshipping cow as our one of the traditional god, and pig is also considered as the traditional thing. And not only for us, Muslims also do the same thing. So for using this kind of bullets started to hurt the sentiment, that is the religious sentiment of Hindus and Muslims. Why it is hurted? In the sense, whenever you are supposed to insert the cartridge inside the Enfield rifle, you have to bite the bullet and then only you have to insert inside the gun. So whenever you are biting, it will be automatically get into your mouth, isn't it? So it will be hurting your religious sentiment of Hindus and Muslims. So many of the soldiers who were in the group of the British government, who worked under the British government as a soldiers, they started to refuse to use this Enfield rifles and cartridges. So many people started to gather together and they started to react a massive revolt, which we call it as an 1857 revolt. And the next is, we are going to see is about First War of Independence. The First War of Independence is nothing but the revolt of 1857. It is called in the name as First War of Independence. In this, we are going to see about a person. Can you see a person in this picture, children? Yes, he is a Indian soldier named Mangal Pandey, and he worked as a soldier under the British regiment. On 29th March, this Mangal Pandey, he is a Brahmin soldier. He started to fire against the British officers. Why did he fire? In the sense, he also the one among the soldier who started to oppose the usage of the greased bullets. So many fights has been gone between the British and the people, but he was the first soldier who started to shoot at the British officers. In this, nearly 20 British officers has been died. So the British arrested Mangal Pandey and he was executed in the jail. So the Indian soldiers who refused to use the bullets and fight against the British in the year of 1857, this war we call it as First War of Independence. And the next thing we are going to see is about the revolts of the leaders. Already we have seen in the first part the Battle of Plassey and the Battle of Buxar, isn't it? Yes. In this part we are going to see about many leaders who started to raise their voice in the different places where they have their ruling power. So the first we start up with the Bahadur Shah. Can you view this picture, children? First king, yes, he is Bahadur Shah II, and the noticing point is he is the last ruler of the Mughal emperor. Already we have learnt Mughal emperor is such a massive dynasty, and it is a great kingdom in which Bahadur Shah II was the last Mughal emperor. And apart from this, under his leadership, many soldiers from his regiment marched a long march to Delhi to revolt against the British under the leadership of Bahadur Shah II on the day of 12th May. Again I repeat, Bahadur Shah II, the last Mughal emperor, marched to Delhi along with his soldiers on 12th May. The second leader is Nana Sahib. Can you see the second picture, children? He is Nana Sahib. Nana Sahib started his revolt in Kanpur. He doesn't started his revolt alone. He gathered many people along with the strong associates of General Tantia Tope. So Nana Sahib and General Tantia Tope gathered together his soldiers and empowered his power and started to revolt in Kanpur area. And the third leader we are going to see is Begum Hasrat Mahal. Begum Hasrat Mahal is a queen of the state who revolted in Lucknow. And the last ruler we are going to see is Rani Lakshmi Bai. Can you see a picture as a third picture? A queen is sitting on the horse, isn't it? Yes, she is Rani Lakshmi Bai, and she started a powerful revolt in the area of Jhansi. And that too, the special thing is, in this war, she completely enrolled the women soldiers who had been trained for a very long time. So Rani Lakshmi Bai along with her women soldiers regiment entered in the war in the area of Jhansi. So once again I recap the leaders and their areas, children. First is Bahadur Shah in the area of Delhi. Second is Nana Sahib and Tantia Tope, General Tantia Tope in the area of Kanpur. Third is Begum Hasrat Mahal in Lucknow, and the last final is Rani Lakshmi Bai with her women soldiers in Jhansi. Next thing we are going to see what are all the reasons which made the Indian people to lose the battles and wars. Already we have known only because of losing this kind of war we have become a slave to the British people. So there might be some reason for any victory or loss, isn't it? So first we are going to see what are all the behind reasons for the failure of the Indian people against the British. The first reason is the revolt was not widespread. The meaning is the revolt, wherever the war is being started, it must be evenly spread to each and every state, isn't it? If you are doing a work, if you are starting a work, the work should be completely taken as your effort. If it is not so, can you able to win? You can't, isn't it? Yes, the same way, the revolt which has been started in one part, it is not been evenly spread in all the states. So it became as the main failure for the Indian people. And the second is the northern parts, that means the northern part of the India doesn't know the revolt impact and doesn't know what is the effort has been taken by the king. And the next is the rebels failed to plan the revolt properly. That means the leaders, whoever started to fight against the British, they didn't plan the war in a very proper manner, because whenever you are doing a huge thing, planning must be an important schedule one among them. So the planning of the revolt and the effort and the effectiveness of the revolt has been completely shut down. And the third is all Indians were not united, as few kings helped the British. What is the meaning of this? We have already seen in Battle of Plassey. Mir Jafar, because of that one person, the entire Nawab of Bengal, the entire Bengal regiment has been defeated by the British, isn't it? Yes. Likewise, many kings of small kingdom and big kingdom, some kings were started to support the British people in an unknowing way of the other kings. So they started to support the British people, which made the British people to control the Indians in a very easy and faster way. And the next is the British had superior weapons. For example, if we people have the tradition to fight with sword, these people started to fight with the gun. So some technical improvement was there. So superior weapons have been handled by the British people to control the Indians in a very quick manner. And apart from that, the British people have a very large, massive soldier army, so that it will be comparing to the Indian army, it is a very big regiment. And the next we are going to see is outcome of the revolt. What is outcome? Outcome in the sense result of the revolt. So far we have done so many wars, so far we have been shouted against the British in various ways, isn't it? So after doing all those things, what we have to expect? We have to expect the result of the revolt. So let us see the revolt results one by one. First is the revolt is considered as an important milestone in the Indian history. So when comparing to many wars and many battles, this revolt of 1857 has been marked as a remarkable history in the milestone of India. And the second is the British took over the control of Indian administration. So little by little they started to control each and every state. They started to send the king out of the country, and apart from that they started to kill the king, and then finally they brought the big kingdoms under their control. And the third is the British government appointed a general viceroy to rule the country. Who is this general viceroy? For example, if a particular person is the authority to rule a place, instead of that person, some other person will be appointed in his place to rule the country. So, viceroy is a person, whether he is a king or a queen, who rules the country on behalf of their own king or queen. So the British government appointed a leader in the name of General Viceroy to rule the Indian people. So according to that, the first viceroy who started to rule India is Lord Canning. Again I repeat, the first viceroy of India who governed the India is Lord Canning. And the next is few local rulers who were allowed to rule their territory. That is in the sense, though British has captured many places of India to rule under their rules and regulation, few places kings were allowed to rule according to their own wish and will. But that is not the real case. The people, whoever has been working in their own name in many areas, they are supposed to work like a puppets in the sense, whatever the British is telling, they have to control their people. For example, if an Indian ruler has been ruling in a particular place, if the British is asking to get more money from the farmers of the particular state, he has to get. If he wants to lend more people for the garment work, he has to give. So like in this way, many rulers has been working as a puppet in the hand of the British government. So children, by finally this, British has started to completely govern the India, and they started to bring India under their control. So by continuing this, children, we are going to see a few new terms along with this meaning. Okay. First word is taxes. Money that is paid to the government. Taxes, money that is paid to the government. Second word is finished products. The product that comes at the end of the process. What is mean by that? Whenever the person is taking the raw material, he have to take out some source out of the raw material, and he have to do some industrial work, and finally the finished product can be utilized by the customer. So this finished product can be considered as the product that comes out at the end of the process. Third one, indigo plant. Children, we have already seen about indigo plant in the previous section, isn't it? See, this violet color flower is indigo plant. This is the picture of the indigo plant. Indigo plant is a deciduous subshrub that have pinnate leaves and clusters of red or purple flowers, a source of indigo dye. It will be having some sharp leaves, and apart from that, these flowers will be grown in clusters. Clusters in the sense more flowers will be grown together. It will be in the color of red or purple flower. Here I have given only purple color picture. The flower may be in red color or in purple color, and the main thing is indigo plant serves as a source of indigo dye, that is in dyeing industry. And the fourth one is shipping. Shipping in the sense the transportation of goods by sea or other means, whether it is through roadway or whether it is through the other means, but here shipping in the sense the transport of goods by sea or other means. And the next word that we are going to see is viceroy. I already told you, viceroy is a person who represents a king or queen and rules in another country. I repeat, viceroy is a person who represents a queen or king and rules in the another country. And the next is cartridge. Cartridge, a cylindrical metal case containing the charge of a firearm. In general, we call it as a bullet, isn't it? Yes. And next is telegraph. Telegraph, a system for transmitting messages to a long distance by means of electric wire. And the final is monuments. Monuments in the sense a statue or a structure of a human being or a thing which can be placed over the graveyard in the memory of a dead. Generally we call it as the statue of the graveyard. So again I repeat, monuments, a statue or a structure that is placed over a grave in memory of dead. We will have a quick recap of the topics, children. So we have started with the revolt of 1857, isn't it? Yes. What was the first thing introduced by the British in the year of 1857? What is the gun name? The Enfield rifle. Yes. What is the Enfield rifle will have in that? They will be having a cartridge. What is the cartridge has been greased with? The cartridge is greased with the animal fat. Yes, good. So what is the year of introducing this Enfield rifle? 1857. Good. And the next is we are going to see about First War of Independence. What is the other name of First War of Independence? The Revolt of 1857. Who is the person in the picture? Mangal Pandey, and he is a Brahmin soldier who fired against the British officers. And the next we saw about the leaders of the revolt. The person in the first picture is Bahadur Shah II, and he is the leader of the place Delhi. And the person in the second picture is Nana Sahib, and he started the revolt in the area of Kanpur. And the third is Begum Hasrat Mahal, picture is not given, and the third queen who revolted in the area of Lucknow is Begum Hasrat Mahal. And the fourth is The picture third one, Rani Lakshmi Bai, and in general she is called as Jhansi Rani, and she started the revolt in the area of Jhansi. And the next we have seen some 4 failure of the revolt. The first is the revolt has not been equally spread, that is the revolt has not been reached equally to all the parts of India. The second is the leaders of the revolt has not planned the revolt in a proper way. Third is the Indians, that is the kings and the Indian people in many of the places, they are not seemed to be united. And the last is the British had many more powers and superior weapons and large amount of army of soldiers. By continuing that, we have seen the outcome of the revolt, that is the results of the revolt. Here we have seen some 5 points. The first is the revolt of 1857 has become the important milestone in the Indian history. The second is the British started to control the Indian government, that is Indian administration. And the third is the British government appointed a general viceroy to control or to rule the country. And the fourth one is the first viceroy of India is Lord Canning. The first viceroy of India was Lord Canning. And the next is few local rulers were allowed to rule their territory but under the control of the British. Children, shall we do some fun activity? We are going to start out the session with a try out following questions. You are going to answer. I will tell the questions. Which system of education was introduced by the British? Which system of education was introduced by the British? Second question is, name few social evils. You can give at least 1 or 2. So, name few social evils that existed in India, that is in olden days. Third question is, write any 1 disadvantages of British rule in India. For this question, you have to write only 1 disadvantage. So many disadvantages we have seen. It is enough to give only 1 disadvantages here. And the next is, what is an Enfield rifle? You have to write what you understood about the Enfield rifle. In your point of view, what is Enfield rifle? And the fifth one is, why Enfield rifles become the immediate cause of the revolt? What is the reason for the high rising amount of revolt after introducing the Enfield rifles? You have to write the point. Children, we will check out the answers for the question. First question I asked, who introduced the formal system of education? So the answer you gave is, the formal system of education was introduced by British in India. Good. Second is, I asked to mention any 2 social evils which existed in India. So we have given as sati and child marriage and remarriage of widows. And the third is, write any 1 disadvantages of British rule in India. Here we have given us the British forced the farmers to grow more cash crops and to sold the cash crops at a very meager and low price. And the fourth is, I told you to give the answer in your point of view. What did you understood about Enfield rifles, isn't it? So in 1857, the British introduced a new gun for the soldiers called as Enfield rifles. And the fifth one is, why the Enfield rifles became the immediate cause of the revolt. For this, you have to write the reason why suddenly the revolt of 1857 has been started by the Enfield rifles. So I already told you, the cartridges, that is the bullets of the Enfield rifles, will be coated with the animal fat. What are all the 2 animals we saw? Pig and cow. Yes. So pig and cow fat will be coated over the grease, which will hurt the religious sentiment of the Hindus and Muslims. So children, we are going to try one more fun activity. You are going to write the name of the particular question, the name who has been mentioned in the particular question. Who am I? Okay. The first one is, you have to find this person. I am the Nawab of Bengal in the year of 1757. I repeat, you have to find the name of the person who has been mentioned in the question. I am the Nawab of Bengal in the year of 1757. Second question is, I, the Minister of Sirajud-Dowla's court. I, the Minister of Sirajud-Dowla's court. Whereas you have to write the minister's name who worked in Sirajud-Dowla's court. I am the Minister of Sirajud-Dowla's court. Third is, I am the one who defeated Sirajud-Dowla. I am the one who defeated Sirajud-Dowla. You have to write the person who defeated Sirajud-Dowla in the war. Fourth one, I am the first Viceroy of India. I am the first Viceroy of India. And the fifth one is, I am the last Mughal Emperor. You have to write the Mughal Emperor. Next. Children, in this you have to match the questions according to their related answers. So first question you have been given as Battle of Buxar. Your choice is the British. Second one is Battle of Plassey. Third is formal education. Fourth is Bahadur Shah II. Fifth is Nana Sahib. Sixth is Rani Lakshmi Bai. Seventh is Indigo. Eighth, First War of Independence. Children, note down the options. I have given the options for each and every question. You have to read the options in the match and then you have to connect it. Have you noted down? And next is, we are going to do some simple map work. Okay, you are going to take a political map of India. In that political map, you have to find the following places. We have already know a little about Delhi and Bengal. Delhi and Bengal is a known places for you in political map. So you are going to find out the next three places: Meerut, Lucknow and Kanpur. So you can find the places by your own way and you can mark the locations in the India political map. Can you see the picture of India political map, children? So you have to take your India political map and you have to locate those 5 places in this map. So now we will check our answers of fun activity. So first question I asked is, I am the Nawab of Bengal. Who is the Nawab of Bengal in 1757? Sirajud-Dowla. Good. Second question I asked is, I am the Minister of Sirajud-Dowla's court. Only one minister I have seen. Who is that? Mir Jafar. Good. Third question is, I am the general who defeated the Nawab of Bengal. So the answer is General Robert Clive. Fourth question is, I am the first Viceroy of India. Answer is Lord Canning. Fifth is, I am the last Mughal Emperor. The answer is Bahadur Shah II. Next we are going to see the match the following answers. Battle of Buxar, the year is 1764. Second one, Battle of Plassey, the year is 1757. Third, formal education, the answer is the British. Fourth one, Bahadur Shah II, Delhi. Fifth one, Nana Sahib, Kanpur. Sixth one, Rani Lakshmi Bai, Jhansi. Seventh one, Indigo, cash crop. Eighth one, First War of Independence, year 1857. Children, can you see the map here? I have marked the map points so that you can have a check with your map. First we have marked Delhi here at the top. Here as Delhi in this joint. Nearby Delhi we have marked, this is Nepal area. You have been noticed in our early maps and all, isn't it? So here you will be having Nepal. So below Nepal, at the top first part you will be having Meerut. Slowly down you will be having Lucknow, and nearby Lucknow, Kanpur. Children, now recap the concept. After Bahadur Shah started his first revolt in Delhi, slowly it has been started in Meerut, and then by Begum Masrat Mahal in Lucknow, and by Nana Sahib. So the entire part has been started to revolt against the British. And then we can see this Bengal part. What you can remember by seeing this Bengal part? Here only the first tax collection of British has been started. So note down the points of these places once again in your map, children. First is Delhi, second is Meerut, third is Kanpur, fourth one is Lucknow, and the fifth one is Bengal. So children, from this lesson you can able to get how English people has been started to rule over the country, how we people has been started to revolt against the British people. So the continuation of this can be seen in the next class, children. Thank you.